Many of us pay for equity advisory services. You know, the services that tell you what to buy, when to sell, what to hold, etc. So I'm telling you, you should not pay for any of the equity advisory services. Are you surprised? We'll find out why. You're watching The Informed Investor by Research and Ranking. Let's begin. All of us have the tips and suggestion providers for investing. You know how the day starts in the morning when you go jogging with your friends, and in the group there is invariably a person who's got a very brilliant suggestion for you to invest. Well, this suggestion comes from an insider who he comes to know about from his friend's friend. But that becomes very important for you to invest, right? And as soon as you're done with your morning activities and you're sitting in front of the television having that breakfast and that cup of tea, for those 20 to 25 minutes you are listening to the TV experts who are telling you to buy certain stocks with a certain stop loss. And in as many number of minutes that you're watching the TV, you're getting the number of stocks to invest. And before you're leaving for your office, you happen to glance through your WhatsApp message, and what do you read? A message from your stockbroker that says that do not miss this opportunity because this is once in a lifetime opportunity and you can't say no to that either, right? So you reach your office, and invariably in every given team, in every given department, in every given company, there is this wise guy. This wise guy who knows a little more about the markets more than the promoters of the company, and you can't complain either. Why? Because in the past, some of the tips, not many, some of the tips that he had given to you have actually yielded profits for you. So you can't say no to that either. And in the day's time, you receive a call from your trusted relative, a person who works in a banking firm, investment firm, and he tells you, कि इस stock को मत भूलना. And little do you realize that during the course of the day, you have built a list of 20 to 25 stocks that you can literally buy. So the question is, should you pay for an equity advisory firm which is going to give you some more stocks to purchase? Right? Please keep in mind that you're paying a fee to the equity advisory firm. And please keep in mind that you are getting all the tips and suggestions from your friends absolutely free. Should you pay? The answer is no. You should not pay to an equity advisory firm the fees that the firm is asking you, provided you do the following, which I'm about to tell you. In fact, you should not pay to even your friends or anybody else for that matter. Forget an equity advisory firm. Do you remember the first time you bought a home? Do you remember the homework that you did in selecting that given home? You went through the website, you searched about the builder, you actually went about seeing the property with your own eyes. You asked the neighbors, you asked the vendors, you asked the shopkeepers, any and every question that appeared right to you, to the point that you did your homework in finding out whether there is a metro station coming nearby, whether there is a school nearby, whether there is a hospital nearby, whether there is a mall that is coming nearby, whether there is an expressway that is coming nearby, anything that helped you make your decision, so that the per square foot rate that you initially thought, for example, 5,000 rupees per square foot, can actually appreciate to something like 8,000, 9,000 rupees per square foot over a period of 3 to 4 years time. You actually went about with a compass in your hand, looking at the vastu of the place as well. You remember that? Now, so much of the homework that you did in selecting that home, it's the same homework that you need to do when you're selecting a business to invest. Now, you need to be sure about the management who's running the company, because it is in the hands of the management that the profits of an average investor, a minority shareholder like you and me, are ultimately they are the people who will be responsible for giving us those profits. Do you even know their education qualification? Do you know what they've done in the past? Do you know their track record? Are you sure about the earnings visibility of this given company? Because the tip that the person gave to you is a tip may not be relevant any longer. Are you sure about the business moat of this given company? You know what the business moat is? Something special that this company only has and no other competitor can have. Are you sure about the sustainability of the operating profits and the margins of this given business? Are you sure you've done your homework in selecting this given company? Are you sure that you've looked at the commitment versus the delivery that the management has given a guidance quarter after quarter, year after year? Have you done that homework? Have you done the homework in finding out whether the financial ratios are in place? Whether the earnings with respect to the price reason out the stock to be in your portfolio or not? Have you done your research on these given parameters? And there is so much more. Please believe me, this is just the tip of the iceberg that I'm telling you. Have you done your homework in finding out whether these stocks really make sense quarter after quarter, year after year, stock by stock? Have you really done your homework in finding out whether you need to balance, you need to rebalance the portfolio depending on where the valuations are? And if you've done all this, then you do not need the services of an equity service provider, right? In fact, you don't need the services of an equity service provider if you can calculate the CAGR on your portfolio. But the reality is that in the morning jogging group, you will still have the recommendations coming to you. The reality is that the office colleague will still give you the tips. The reality is that the broker will still send you the messages. The reality is that your relative will still call you. The reality is, knowingly or unknowingly, you will still accumulate about 100 to 200 stocks. You know the sad part about that? All these wonderful suggestions that came to you will never ever be rebalanced or balanced. Once told, once bought, will remain bought. Nobody will come and tell you that you're holding 200 stocks and you need to rebalance it the way that it should be. So you left high and dry, wondering what to do with more than 200 stocks in your portfolio. You know the saddest part? There is one more morning, a fresh day, a fresh investment idea that keeps appearing logical to you. So the question I ask you is, what do? The answer to this question is, please don't allow anybody else to rule over your judgment. You are the judge. You are the person who's chosen the stock. You are the person who's done the homework. Don't be influenced by an equity advisory firm, by a friend, by a relative, by anyone else. Because if you've done the homework, that stock needs to be there in your portfolio. Because it is your money, it is your decision to invest. This is Sanjeev Anand, wishing you and your loved ones a great health ahead. See you soon.
Did you like watching this video? Then download our app Informed Investor to watch more such informative and interesting videos.